Greetings, my people. It's Mr. PDT yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series.
You're saying, but I've encountered all the nonsense thing that he's doing there. It not only one time I slept with that man for me to say I got pregnant though. I've slept with him for like 4 times. I will not lie. Yes, I will not lie. And what he used to do, the first time, if you go there, you see all the girls, not only me, he will give you highest 200,000 or 250,000 that he will give you. But that money you will not use it for anything. Only thing that you use it to buy clothes. Finish.
What really shocks me is the fact that we still have gullible followers of the likes of Jeremiah Omoto and gullible followers of the rest of the charlatans who are still convinced that we are making all this up, who are still convinced beyond no reasonable doubt that their spiritual father are not capable of the things we are talking about. Flash news to the gullibles. These men that you've been following as servants of God are nothing of that nature. They have nothing to do with what they claim to be representing. Their ways and the ways of Christ are parallel. There is nothing of God in the so-called pastors, bishops, and apostles that you all submit to today. So we're no longer shocked. We've come to a point whereby we admit, we agree that these people are beyond redemption. No matter how much enlightenment we bring to them with receipts, facts, and proof of what their spiritual fathers are doing behind the curtains, they still deny all that information. They still say we are fighting, we are against, we are coming from the pit of hell. They'll still say Mr. PDT is an agent of darkness. Well, time will tell. And I just hope God will do you mercy. And I just hope God will remember you. And God will open your eyes himself, because we have tried. So, in this case of Sister Comfort, I know most of you might not have known about this case of Sister Comfort. It happened last year in 2022, and she was one of Jeremiah Omoto's victims. She fell pregnant after she had intercourse with Mr. Omoto for Fane at 4 different time intervals. And she says that it was at the 3rd or 4th time that she caught the pregnancy, that she became pregnant. And this says a lot about the person of Jeremiah Omoto for Fane. And this is a question that I also want to ask, and this is an awareness that I also want to raise to all the young women, to all the mothers who have their daughters attending these shrines. This is not only happening in Jeremiah Omoto's shrine alone. This is happening universally in all shrines being run by these so-called DDGOs. Some of these cases are covered up, and the reason why we have bold people like Sister Comfort, who have been inspired by the Spirit of God to come out and speak about what they went through and what they've been going through, it shows that the statistics will shock you if all the young girls that have been abused by these men all decide to come out. The main reason why most of them don't come out is because they are afraid. It's because they are scared. And for real, this is a life-threatening situation when you are engaged in some sort of sexual relationship with these so-called pastors and prophets. They will threaten you. Especially if you are in Nigeria, it's not only you who's at risk. The entire lineage of yours will be at risk. Your family, your entire generation, they will be at risk. They'll go after each and every one. That's what they do. They'll cover up. They'll go an extra mile to cover up their evil deeds. Because they know if these things are exposed the way that we're exposing them, we are affecting their cash flows. We are affecting their business. Sister Comfort went through a lot. She went through the most. But all that she was fighting for was to protect her baby, was to protect her boy. Baby testimony. And she came up with that name before she passed away, before she died. She told me that, Prof. X, if I give birth, after she had witnessed to what Sister Ruth Matthew is going through, and after she had witnessed, she had come to the awareness of the case of Baby Testimony who was missing. Baby Testimony is the son of Sister Ruth Matthew. And Comfort gave birth to a child, a baby boy, and she said he must also be called Testimony. So that's more like the connection between the case of Sister Ruth Matthew and the case of Sister Comfort. Sister Ruth Matthew gave birth to baby Testimony, who was her last born, and baby Testimony was abducted at Jeremiah Omoto's shrine. Sister Comfort gave birth to her son, a son of Jeremiah Omoto for fame, and she said the baby must be called baby Testimony. Unfortunately, she died. She couldn't live to see her beautiful boy. But what I do not understand when I try to connect these dots is the fact that Jeremiah Omoto does not have a son, and we are of the belief that the reason why he took baby testimony of Sister Ruth Matthew, is because he wanted to adopt him. He wanted to make him his own, the same way that he has been adopting these young junior prophets, these young kids in his shrine, like the junior Jeremiah. He adopted that one. He took that child from his mother, from his parents, in the form of adoption, so that he can groom them into young angels. He used to have a program called Young Angels. Young Angels, which was a program of him recruiting these 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds into his shrine and start grooming them to become junior prophets. There's another case again of another young man who was adopted or abducted from United States. I'm still yet to go into detail about the case of that young fella, who is also now running his own little shrine, who has cut ties with Jeremiah Omoto for fame, for the reason that Jeremiah Omoto for fame was now having a backlash from the parents of that child who are in overseas. So he decided to act as if he has nothing to do with that child being in Nigeria, because he was brought all the way from the United States to Nigeria. So this syndicate of children missing, this syndicate of adopting children, young boys in Mercy City, did not start yesterday. It did not start with Ruth Matthew's boy, baby Testimony. It has been an ongoing operation. So the belief that I am of is that baby Testimony was abducted for this purpose of becoming a junior angel, a young angel, a junior prophet in Mercy City. Remember, in Ruth Matthew's testimony, she said, the first time Jeremiah Omoto saw baby Testimony, he confessed with his own mouth that this young man is gifted. Whose child is this? There's a star upon his life. People are going to pay to see this child. He admired baby Testimony the very first time he saw him. And he wished if that boy was his. Few days down the line, the baby disappeared. And most of the people at Mercy City used to compliment Sister Ruth Matthew, saying, your son looks like our spiritual father. All of them used to say that. There are even some people right now who still believe that baby Testimony of Ruth Matthew is a biological son of Jeremiah Omoto for fame, which is a conspiracy theory that is not to be entertained, because Sister Ruth Matthew unequivocally disputed and said she had never had any form of intercourse with Jeremiah Omoto for fame. So the reason for baby Testimony's abduction is connected to so many things. It's either he wanted baby Testimony to be his own, and he wanted to reintroduce him at a later stage as a prophet, as his own biological son, since Omoto doesn't have a son of his own. So what I do not understand now is, Comfort, the young lady that you slept with and you made her pregnant, the one that you manipulated into bed and you made her pregnant, was carrying a boy that could have been your biological son, or that is still your biological son. And you were after this young woman, forcing her to do an abortion. You were threatening this young woman with police, with all that is within your arsenal, to make her do an abortion. To a point whereby the trauma and the stress and everything surrounding her pregnancy led to her death while she was giving birth. Why couldn't you just take care of Comfort? Why couldn't you just look after the woman that you impregnated and get your son and raise your son, instead of taking Ruth Matthew's son and try to make him your son. I don't understand what happens in Jeremiah Omoto's head. I don't know how he thinks or who advises him. Why take someone else's child when there is a young lady who's pregnant of you, who was carrying a boy? Why not just look after this one and get the boy when the boy is birthed, instead of you taking someone else's child? It doesn't add up to me. It does not really make sense. When you put 1 and 2 together, it does not just add up. Comfort ended up dying, running away, being chased by Jeremiah Omoto for fame and his police. I'm going to let you listen to a piece of her confession. And with Comfort, I have a series of her episodes, including voice recordings of Jeremiah Omoto himself threatening Comfort. I know the gullibles will be saying, no, you're lying. Let them come out and say I'm lying. Let Jeremiah Omoto and his team come out and dispute this. Then I'll have a point to prove. Like I always tell you, I do not do this. I do not fight this for clout. I do not fight this to make the world believe that, oh, yeah, I just wait to see if they dispute what I'm saying, because everything that I bring here, it is proof. I don't run things that are not backed up by proof. Everything that I bring up here, it is backed by proof, and it is from primary sources. So that's why it's difficult for these charlatans to take me down. That's why it's difficult for these charlatans to dispute anything that I say, because they know. They know what I'm talking about. If I was fighting them with lies, they will be sleeping right now. They will not be bothered. But what I'm bringing to your attention is nothing else but the truth. That's why it shakes them. That's why it makes them go crazy. And they literally do not know what to do or how to manage or how to do damage control in a case of this nature. So in the following recording, you realize that Jeremiah Omoto had paid police. And the reason why he paid police was so that police can arrest this young lady. But now it was no longer proper or possible for them to detain this young lady because they knew that I know about it. So they, in turn, made her an offer. They gave her 3 million naira so that she can sign an affidavit. An affidavit saying that Jeremiah Omoto for fame is not the father of this baby. He is not responsible for this pregnancy. The reason why they did that was so that if Comfort was to come and say this is what happened, they'll bring out that affidavit and take her to prison and say, why are you accusing this man? Or they knew that they were going to terminate Comfort, and they thought that they could use that affidavit to say, what Prophet is saying is a lie. Look at what Comfort wrote when she was pregnant, when she was still alive. She declared to the police that Jeremiah Omoto for fame is not the father of the pregnancy. So why is Prophet running his mouth saying that Jeremiah Omoto is the father of this baby? And they thought the baby was going to die as well. And when the baby is not there, there is no any DNA test that can be done. So what makes the affidavit that they made Comfort sign now and void is the fact that the baby is alive. If Omoto and his minions are to come and say, wow, you're lying, they will be subjected to a DNA test. And Jeremiah Omoto for fame knows that he is the father of this child. So their hands are tied like this. They just do not know how to get out of this because they know their hands are dirty. They know their spiritual father is gangster. They know their spiritual father is promiscuous. They know their spiritual father slept with Comfort and impregnated Comfort. The question I will be asking is, how many other young girls out there are pregnant for Jeremiah Omoto for fame? How many other young girls out there have aborted? How many other young girls out there have been forced to do abortions by Jeremiah Omoto for fame? Mercy City, Wari City, I know you're watching me. You are my biggest audience. I know you're following me day in, day out. My little sisters out there, my lighties, who are sleeping with Jeremiah Omoto for fame. Do an audit of the abortions you have done so far. I know when you're still inside, when you're getting 200,000 naira after sleeping with Omoto, it all feels nice. But I know most of you have been dumped long time ago because Omoto always wants fresh meat. Once he sleeps with you, he moves to the next. For someone who has the influence that he has, with the cars that he shows out, with the money that he gives in public, our young girls become vulnerable. They'll also want to be associated and close to Omoto for fame. So when Omoto for fame invites them to the hotel, they'll feel so vulnerable, they'll just open their legs and sleep with the men. And it's facts that the men does not even use protection. That's the reason why Comfort got pregnant. How many of you, my sisters out there, who are being slept with without protection? Not only talking about protection, what about your health? Are you still okay? Have you been tested? It's very sad what's happening in these shrines, my people. It's not a laughing matter. This is not a joke. It's very, very sad. Very, very sad. So listen to a piece of conversation that I had with Sister Comfort as she was expressing how she was feeling and what she was going through during the time of her pregnancy. And may her soul rest in peace, and she will forever be missed. And I still love her. I was very close to her, and her death came as a shock to me. I did not see it coming. That's why I couldn't prepare much. But I hope she rests in peace. And she knows that, and I know she's watching over her son. And I know everything is going to be well with her. And the reason why I bring this information is to protect other sisters out there that are falling victim to these criminals, to these sex barons. It's very sad. It's very sad. Just listen to what she had to say.
Prophet, this what is it called? This you know, this me and you stuff, this my pregnancy stuff. He used 5 million to say, please though, if you want to say it or just say it indirect. They used 5 million to come and tell me not to. This is how we went. They asked me to go and sign that he's not the one. So the policeman said I should not say that he's not the one. That I should say that if I'm not a baby that someone will pregnant me, I will not know. And I'm telling you, because what you're saying, afternoon, what you're saying the right thing. You're saying that is why I bring up this thing to you. Because if I'm not encountered with the nonsense that is doing there, I will not believe. You understand? I will not believe what you're saying, but I've encountered all the nonsense thing that he's doing there. It not only one time I slept with that man for me to say I got pregnant. I've slept with him for like 4 times. I will not lie. Yes, I will not lie. And what he used to do, the first time, if you go there, you see all the girls, not only me, he will give you highest 200,000 or 250,000 that he will give you. But that money you will not use it for anything. Only thing that you use it to buy clothes. Finish. This is our matter now. So they use 500,000 to say I should close my mouth, I should not talk, I should this, I should deny. I say I cannot deny. That's what I wrote in the poll. I cannot deny that it's not. I cannot say that it's not there. I know he's the one. Me on my own, he knows. But they just want me to not to bring up the thing and not to say anything. So now they say I should come and write that he's not responsible. Policeman said I should not write it like that. Because them said they know the truth. I should not write. That I should always say I leave everything for God. But what he did to me, somebody will do it back to him. So now they brought even 5 million. 2 million for police, 3 million for me. I said I'm not going to collect that money. The only thing I want from them, that they should stop threatening me. They should stop using police to look for me. They should stop looking to pursue me. And they should leave me alone. So the policeman said that if I don't collect that money, that they would think maybe I really want big case. So I should just collect the money. For me now, I will not lie to you. I collected the money, but that money was not in my account. I've not touched shishi inside that money. I went and opened them. They asked me to go and open another bank account. I opened another bank account. They put the money inside of my account. I've not touched shishi inside. So the matter, I'm still keeping it. Let me deliver. If they think what they do, I will still come up with that matter later. If they think what they did is good and what they are doing, he has children, he has girlfriend. His first daughter have reached to marry, but no way, he's not talking about that one because of his bad character. People that know, they know. People that don't want to know, they are still there. But I pray to God that what he did to me, people will still hear. They know that that why they came after me like that. They know that me and the people know me in that church very well. If I come out on air to say that thing, people knows me. Even his wife knows me. His so-called wife she knows me very well. So that is it too. But though if you want to come up, because whatever, I don't know if this one I'm saying said they will even still listen. Whatever thing I said to you, they say they used to listen. I don't know how they used to do it. Or whatever thing if I call you now, they will listen. So I don't know if they will listen to this one. Amaro. So that is just it. Now my friend my girlfriend that we used to work together, now they have put out that their evil ring and they used to put, so that you know the kind of scent that they have in that place, the kind of tactics they have. Any girl that they are sleeping with, they will engage them and keep them in that. Now my friend have been in that this thing for how many months, since last year that this thing happened. This my matter happened. Now they have bought ring for her, engage her, so that nobody marry as I don't know how they used to do it. They will put you in, nobody will think maybe if you ask now what is this girl doing, say this one is a married woman and all those stuff. So that you will know the sign then said they have. Thank you.
But my question is, how does Omoto Fofane sleep at night? How does he sleep at night? How? He has children also. How does he use other people's children like this as if they are not human beings? How does human life mean nothing to him? You can go that extra mile to torment a young lady like this, whom you know you slept with. And there's this other useless boy who I heard that he swings both ways. Jeremiah Omoto's, I think, is it assistant or PA? This young man called, what is his name? Is it Tangbo or something? Tangbi or something. This young man that is light in complexion, that is always next to Jeremiah Omoto Fofane. He's the one that does all the damage control. He's the one that pays these young girls. He's the one that follows them up. He's the one that clears the mess. He's the one that brings girls for Jeremiah Omoto Fofane. And when there are no girls, I heard. This is what I heard. He is the girl when there are no girls. That's what I heard. I have no proof of that, but that's what I heard. But it's sad, man, that this is happening with the girl child. It's very, very much sad. And all that Comfort wanted, if Jeremiah did not want to take responsibility, was just to be left alone. She just did not want to be threatened and followed up the way that they were following her up, to the time that she ended up losing her life. But we'll continue with the episodes, and I'll bring it to you in bits and pieces. It's an entire series for Comfort, and I'll be putting it here and there, just so that our sisters out there will tread with caution, just so that we can raise as much awareness as possible, so that Comfort's life does not go in vain. Her experience, her story will be read and will be heard by so many other young sisters in these shrines, and they will learn that these are the most dangerous places to be. And parents will also know that these are not the very safe spaces or places that we thought they were, to leave your children going there unguarded. Because when you let your children, your daughters, go to these shrines, you're all thinking that they're going there to mix and mingle with other kids who are going to be fellowshipping in truth, in holiness, in righteousness, not knowing that the shepherd is a wolf, is a hyena, is a vampire. He's just waiting to devour. The shepherd is a vulture. You give them to look after your sheep, and he slaughters the sheep. He starts eating it. When he's done, throws it away. My people, I'll check you out on the next episode of the Enlightenment Series. It's Mr. PDT. I'm out.